What is up, guys? Your boy Jabberboy on 8 here. Today I'm going to be doing the review for the F1 2014 Italian Grand Prix. But before I start, I just want to give you guys a little bit of an announcement, and that is next week, because of the debut of Formula E and also MotoGP, I've decided to combine both the Formula E at Beijing and the MotoGP at San Marino. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll try and make it as short as I can, really, just to, keep you guys intrigued, and also to try and, not make it too long for you guys so you don't get bored. So I will try my very best to make it as short as I can. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy that, and yeah, so without further ado, let's do the review for the Italian Grand Prix. And before I start, I'm not going to be talking about practice because it doesn't really mean anything. It means, it kind of means something, but to most people it doesn't mean anything. So we'll move on to qualifying. So qualifying was pretty interesting, I would say. Yeah. Q1. Nothing much really happened, to be honest. The two Mercedes, as they were just really storming off from the field in Q1. And then at the end of Q1, the two Lotuses out. Lotus really struggling at this circuit due to their, I think, brakes. They've really been struggling with the brakes, and also, their straight line speed. So no surprise that they were right down there with the Marussias and Caterham. So yeah, lucky for Lotus there. And then into Q2 it got a little interesting with the likes of Raikkonen and Magnussen trying to get out. I believe Vettel as well trying to get into Q3. And in the end, Raikkonen was out of Q2. He could only qualify in 11th, well, he was 12th, but he moved up to 11th because of Kvyat using his 6th combustion engine, which saw him get a 10th place grid penalty, which dropped him down, I believe, 21st. So, yeah, unlucky for him there. But yeah, like I said, Raikkonen out of Q2, unlucky for him there. Just really not getting, just not really finding the form that we've become used to in the past. So unlucky for Raikkonen there. And then into Q3 we saw a good dog fight between the Williamses and the Mercedes and the individuals of the Mercedes, which are Hamilton and Rosberg. As at the first lap of their qualifying laps in Q3, Hamilton set a blistering time, 1:24.1, to be 4/10 quicker than Nico Rosberg, who did a 1:24.5. So yeah, Hamilton really getting underlining his advantage over Rosberg in this qualifying session. But Rosberg didn't give up. He tried again, tried to go for pole position, but in the end failed by only 2/10, by just under 2/10 over Lewis Hamilton. And as a result, Lewis Hamilton got pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. Behind him, Williams is, like I said, they came 3rd and 4th. It was led by Bottas coming 3rd over Massa, and then behind them it was Magnussen over Button. So good result, good result for the McLarens as well, for that matter. So yeah, and then into the race, it was a poor start for Hamilton, having some sort of problem with the start, with some sort. I think he had some sort of problem. It was like some start engine or whatnot. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, something went wrong, and as a result, he got a poor start and dropped right down to 4th. Surprised that he didn't lose too much positions, gathering that he lost a little bit of power at the start there, which could have dropped him well down, probably maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, who knows. So yeah, very lucky for Hamilton to keep in 4th place there, to drop down to 4th, I mean. And then, but Hamilton did manage, whatever the problem was, the car got better, which meant that Hamilton could go back on the charge for the 2 guys ahead of him, which were Magnussen and Massa, and he did succeed and he did get past them very quickly to take 2nd place and go on the charge of Hamilton. And whilst Hamilton was doing that, Rosberg made a really uncharacteristic mistake by running wide, by braking too late, forcing him to go onto the little escape road across the 1st chicane to fight another day. He did lose a couple of, probably a second or so. So it wasn't like he gained time and had to drop back. No, he did lose a couple of, I think he lost like a second or so. So yeah, unlucky for Rosberg, getting a little bit pressured by the guys behind him there, I guess. So yeah, and then later on during the race, Hamilton starting to close up to the back of Nico Rosberg ahead of him. And then in the pit stops, Rosberg pitted first, as he was the lead Mercedes driver. Hamilton second. Hamilton didn't get ahead; he got behind in 2nd place. But then, I believe around lap 20, Rosberg did the same thing he did on like the first 10 laps. He braked too late, went through the escape road, and as a result, Lewis Hamilton took the lead. He took the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. And yeah, beautiful comeback from 4th place to get into 1st place. Beautiful, absolutely fantastic for him there. And then behind, we really saw a lot of good battling, especially from Magnussen and Bottas. They were having a really juicy battle between each other. Bottas trying to get ahead, going around the outside of turn 1, which became the inside into 2. But Magnussen pushed Bottas well wide, so wide in fact that Bottas had to go off the little another part of the escape road, the inner escape road of the chicane, to get back on the track. He didn't get ahead, unfortunately, lost a bit of time off Magnussen, and as a result Magnussen got a 5-second penalty, which he didn't take, which then gets added to his finish time. So I'm not quite sure where that puts him. I think that puts him somewhere like right down in the low top 10 position. So yeah, what do I think in my opinion? I think it was a racing incident, to be honest, because Magnussen had the line going into turn 2. He had every single right to be there, and Bottas, good thinking by Bottas to get out of it, because that could have been a monumental crash between each other. Maybe like a loss of front wings and broken front wings, and maybe even a puncture for Magnussen there. So yeah, in my opinion, I don't think it's Magnussen's fault. I think it was just clearly a racing incident. So yeah, and then behind we saw a really good battle between Perez and Button. Both of them had a really decent battle between each other. Button getting ahead of Perez going into turn 1, but as soon as they came out of turn 2, Perez got a really, that top speed, that little acceleration, I mean, from the Force India, really paid off as he got back at Button coming out of the 2nd chicane to make Perez stay ahead of Button, and that really carried on with a couple of laps until Perez sort of pulled away from Button, and then in the end Perez beat Button to I think finish 8th. No, probably 7th, I believe. I can't really remember. I can't really remember at the moment the positions of the lower top 10 group. So apologies for that. And then we saw a really good battle. The two Red Bull drivers really going for it. I mean, it was a fantastic battle between each other. It didn't really last for a while. Ricciardo did manage to get ahead of him going into the second chicane. A beautiful move. The cutback going into turn 1, going into the chicane. I mean, to see Ricciardo ahead of his teammate Sebastian Vettel. Another thing as well, Alonso had a problem. It was an ERS issue, which forced him out of the race. And lucky for Alonso, he hasn't retired since, I believe it was the Malaysian Grand Prix. He hasn't retired since then. So a very long streak, which now comes to an end. So unlucky for Alonso there. But in the end, it was... Oh, another thing as well, I forgot. Danny Kvyat had a massive moment going into the first chicane. He locked up. He went across the first chicane properly out of control. Thank God he didn't crash into any of the barriers there. It was a mighty moment that Kvyat had. He managed to get on unscathed and managed to finish the race as a result. He managed to finish the race, I mean. And another man who finished the race in first place was Lewis Hamilton. A beautiful, commanding victory from him. A beautiful comeback as well, for that matter, from fourth, from a bad start there. What a win for Lewis Hamilton. I mean, are we seeing him come back in this championship? Who knows? We'll find out in these last couple of races. I am pumped for these last few races, but until then, a fantastic race by Lewis Hamilton, a deserving victory by Lewis Hamilton, of course. Second for Nico Rosberg, good drive from him there, and Felipe Massa, his first podium since the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix. Thoroughly deserves it. A great drive from him there, starting from fourth on the grid. So, yeah, guys, that's it. So, thank you very much for watching. It's your boy, J18. I'm out. Peace.